exams are over, I promise to post at least 2 videos a week, and I'll be consistent enough. So let's just go ahead and create our function for computing all the operations. So let's just create a function called compute. So you can either create it after your setup UI views or before it, your choice. So private void compute. So this is the function which will be called whenever each of those operator buttons are pressed. So inside this function we are gonna write our logic. Okay. So inside compute, what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a logic of if and else. So firstly, what we should check is if there is a number or not inside the info. So basically, we need to check if value 1 is a number or not. So if not of double dot is of value 1. Okay. So what will happen is if suppose value 1 isn't a number, then it'll go to the else loop. If it is a number, this becomes true, and because the not, it becomes false. Okay. So once it enters this loop, that means value 1 is already present, and value 2 can now be obtained from your info. So info dot get text dot toString, because this is your second number which was there, and since we have defined your value 2 as double, so we need to do the double dot parse double so that we can convert the string to a double data type. Okay. So we have our value 2, and we just need to do a simple switch case statement so that when when some action is pressed, the addition, subtraction, or any of those operations should take place. So what we're going to do is we'll go ahead and define a variable called current action or action, private action. So switch action. So in the case of addition, what should happen is value 1 should get added with value 2, as simple as that. And since it's switch case, we need to add a break. So we're going to do the same thing for all the 4 operators. So instead of addition, we are going to do subtraction and change the operator here, multiplication, and for division as well. Okay. So I know you haven't understood much here, but you'll understand as this video progresses. So, and we'll also need to provide one for equal to sign, EQU. So we need to define this. So if it's nothing, when you press equal symbol, it has to just display the final info in the result. So let's just call it break. Just put break, and we need to define this symbol at the beginning. So just create a variable called EQU, and let's just assign it a value of 0. Anything is fine. Alright, so basically what happens here is it comes inside this loop. Value 2 is taken from info, and based on the action, so you must be wondering, where is this action assigned? So we need to assign this action inside the add the on click listener. So we'll come to that, but before this, let's just complete the compute function. So we need to write the else function, else loop. So in the else loop, we need to tell that value 1, we need to get the value for value 1. So get text dot toString, and again, since the data type is double, we need to do a parse double. So what is happening here is, so firstly our value 1 is not a number, so it comes into the else loop, and whatever number was entered is stored in value 1. So the next time the any of those operators are pressed, it comes into this loop, and if it's not a number obviously, and therefore the value 2 gets assigned, and whatever number was entered after the operator is assigned into value 2, and based on the action, addition or any of the four operations are performed. Now you must be wondering where the action variable is assigned. So this is assigned in our uh, add.onClickListener. So here we'll call the compute, we'll set the action as addition, and we're gonna set the onClickListener, sorry, not onClickListener, we're gonna set text on the result, we have to display the result. So in set text, we're gonna display the value of value 1. So string dot value of value 1, and we'll also display the operator, which is addition in this case. And we need to, whenever any of these operators are pressed, we need to clear the info text. So we'll just call this null. So this is how you can assign the operators for each of those functions. Okay, so now that our add function is complete, let's proceed and do the same for other operations as well. So sub dot on click listener, we also need to do the same thing for division and multiplication as well, but be sure to change certain parameters because we have not yet changed the parameters for each of them. So this will become null, and this is divide, and as you can see in subtract, we need to change this action from addition to subtraction, and also this symbol, and for multiplication change it to multiplication, and also its symbol, and for division symbol, and okay. So basically now we have finished our functions for each of those operations. So it is as simple as that. So what happens is, here first the compute function is called. So once you click on any of the operators, the compute function gets called, and as you know previously in the compute function, so your previous number is assigned to your value 1, and after the operator is pressed, after when the compute is called, value 1 isn't not a number as you have shown here, and the second number that you enter after the operator is assigned to value 2, and based on the action, then based on the action, the addition or subtraction or multiplication takes place, and as you can see here, the value gets placed into value 1. So finally a result is in value 1. So we need to display the result which is stored in value 1 itself. So we need not define another variable, which is again waste of space. So we need to just display this. So in our equal to, whenever we press the equal to symbol, uh, what have I defined? Okay, I defined, okay, I've not defined my equal button. So let's go ahead and define that. So let's call it private button equal, and we also need to assign its ID in setup views. Sorry about this, I should have done this previously. I hope you're getting what I'm doing. I'm not confusing you. This is like the most simplest of the calculator ID that you're doing, because this doesn't take care of various error handling that can happen during mathematics, all the syntax errors. So so don't think that this is the end of it. There is a lot of improvements that can be done, but this basically shows how a simple calculator works. So now that your equal function is defined, let's go ahead and set the on click listener for that. On click listener, new on click listener. So inside this, so basically first thing what it should happen, as we have seen before, we have to do the compute, and we have to change the current action to equal before we can display the result, so that the switch case knows it is equal. And then we display the result. So result dot set text, and inside this, so our result now basically has our first operator. So basically the first operator that we pressed, correct? So that is why we need to do result dot get text dot toString plus concatenate it with our second operator, second value to a number. So basically that will be value of string dot value of val2. And so this is basically how I want the calculator to display my result. So that is why I'm following this format: the first number, concatenating it with the second number. And remember that our first number, the result dot get text, what we are doing, it basically has our number as well as the operator, because previously when you see here we have in our result we basically set the value 1 with the operator. So basically here we have the result, we have the number and the operator, and we like concatenate it with our value 2 equals to, and this equals to your answer. And I told you before, in compute the answer is stored in val1 itself. So that is why we need to you know do string dot value of and display the value stored in val1. Okay, so that completes our format. So if you didn't understand what is happening here, I'm gonna write it down as a comment next below this, so that you understand better. So this is basically you know this way, like 5 plus 4 equals 9. Okay, so this is our value 1. All right, so this is our value, that is value 1, which gets stored into result with the operator, this thing which is shown here. Okay, so this comes under, all this comes under your this first part. And the second parameter is the value 2, which is 4, and we concatenate it with the symbol equal, and this is the result, which is result here is basically stored in value 1. So don't get confused between result and value 1. Okay, I can understand I should have used better naming methodologies, but I hope you understand what is happening here. So once this is done, you can create you can clear your info. So just go ahead and clear the info. So that completes your equal. And you can also assign an operation on when clicking the clear button. So okay, so we have not assigned the clear button as well. So let's go ahead and create the clear button. So private, I'm just going fast here because you know how this works, because I've been seeing this since the first video. I have it there. So this is our btn clear. So let's just write a function for that. Okay, so let's go ahead and write the on click listener for our clear. again do the same thing, keep following this, and then inside this, so by clear you can either clear the entire thing, entire whatever the number or whatever answer displayed in our two text views. However, what I prefer to do is, like, suppose if there is a number like 1234 typed in our info text box, and if you press the clear button, I want it to remove the numbers one by one and not the entire thing. Okay, so that is much better. So that is why we'll do that. So firstly we need to get the length of the numbers which were entered, first, the first number, first operand. So for that, what we do is we use a simple if condition, info dot get, sorry, info dot get text dot length, I guess. Yeah. So, and this thing should be greater than 0. If it's greater than 0, obviously, like, I'll comment and I'll let you know what I'm speaking. So what we need to do is there's a main class called as char sequence. Just create an object for that name, and what you need to do is get the text what was entered, the first operand that was entered, convert it into string, and that is entered into your variable name. Now we are going to create a subsequence for this, that is info.setText, and inside this we have name, the variable which I have defined previously, and we do a subsequence. A subsequence is basically a subset of the main sequence. That is, if I have 1234 typed as my first operand, when I press on clear, it omits the last, the least significant digit. Okay, the last number which you had entered. So one by one it clears. So that is why I am doing the subsequence. The parameters for subsequence, as you can see, it has int start and int end. So basically it starts from 0, and the last number should be basically whatever length was there in the main sequence minus 1. Okay, so I hope you are understanding what is happening. If you don't, you can actually see the working when I show you the visual working of our calculator. So once this is done, you can go ahead and write the else loop. So in the else loop, you can if there is only one number in your text view, or there's nothing, you can simply clear it. So you can go ahead and simply assign both the, we assign value as value 1 as nan and value 2 as not a number. So basically this is like setting all the contents to refreshing everything. So this the app can start again. So the calculator is like back to square one. So now you can even update the text views, can set it to null. It's up to you, your whatever you want to do, it's your preference. So I'm just gonna set it to null, and also the result to null if there was anything already there. So this is how you can assign some operation for the clear function, clear operator. So now that we have done all this, I think so I hope you know how you can upload your code onto your phone. So just go ahead and click on the triangle, green color, which is right on top beside your debugger and other options beside your instant run. So just go ahead and you can see your device here. So it will also display your Android version. So just go ahead and click OK, and just wait for some time for Android Studio to build your project. So I'm just gonna skip forward to save time, and let's just see how well our app works and if there are any errors. So let's wait and watch. So as you can see here, if I click on one, this is our the bottom one is basically our info. So we can see that it tells us what we are typing, and once you click on any operator, it jumps to our result as we have shown before. So once that is done, we next need to put our second number, and if you click on that operator, you can see that it got added and it has displayed the result as 3. And suppose you need to do any other operation. Now suppose let us do division as well. So you can see that it gives you your answer in this format. You have your first number, second number, and your result. So this is what I was explaining. And when you click clear, both of the numbers get disappear. Now suppose you are doing this 1, 2, 3, 4, and you press clear. In our info, it removes each number one by one. So this is your subsequence working here. So I hope you are understanding what each of our code does. And also keep in mind that if you press one number and then you know try to put the operator and try to click equal, so our second number is not there, so that's why the app crashes. So there are a lot of error handling functions that need to be put into the app so that it doesn't crash. But as I told you before, it's a simple calculator app, and you can always flaunt it with your friends. And there are also a couple of changes that you could do, like suppose you could always increase the size of the text. So just go to your XML layout, and inside your XML layout, in our text views, we can increase the size of our text because it is clearly very small. So for doing that, just type text size, and inside we'll put 16 sp, which is scale independent text. And also we'll do the same thing for our other text view result. So here as well we are assigning the text size as 16 sp, and hopefully this is will be better and much more vibrant. Now you can also make the app more visually attractive by assigning colors to all the different buttons. You could also make them transparent. There are different things that you could do, but for now what I'm saying is this is a basic. This tutorial series was only to give you a gist of how the calculator app works. And also I hope you understood the logic behind how each of the operators are assigned and all that. So this is going into advanced version of our calculators out of scope of these tutorials. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorials, and if you want anything that you want to know, please put it down into the comment section below. So I'll also be putting the code in the description below, so go ahead and you can check it out. If you have if you didn't understand something or didn't see something, you could probably have missed something. So go ahead and check it out in the description below.